Hello everybody and welcome to game number 2 here in this best of 3 between NAR and Summer's Rift. MLG Pro League Season 2 playoffs. This is for the final spot to get yourselves to Austin, Texas. We'll head over to the draft right now because this new patch, I kind of want to, start getting to the draft relatively early, kind of interesting things to talk about. And there's a man, very interesting himself, who maybe can walk us through some of these things. Nahaz, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. Really happy to see a revamped Summer's Rift team come out in game 1 and just give us one heck of an effort. Huge early game Shadow Fiend play by Ush, but just not able to convert enough of an advantage. And Summer's Rift take that first game, and this is a best of 3, right?
Yeah, best of 3.
So yeah, I mean, they're up against it. This is an elimination match, folks. The winner of this series goes to Austin, loser goes home. And yeah, Rift are going to open with probably, I think, probably the safest pick there is right now. This Queen of Pain, pretty much the only hero that we've seen recently have success in all 3 core positions. Maybe Bristle, although Bristle's off lane's been pretty shaky. But this Queen of Pain, we've seen her contribute from pretty much all 3 core roles. And there's a reason that she's been the highest pick and ban rate for most of this patch.
Oh, definitely. They ban out the Jar themselves this game, so they're not going to get their hands on that.
Yeah.
But I kind of want
good decision.
Yeah, I kind of want to talk about the Visage though, because Visage has become this first ban material simply because of the Drow Visage, right? Because if you pick him up in, especially your first pick, if you got first pick and you take him, it kind of forces the enemy to think, well, okay, either we pick Drow here in our first 1-2, or we allow the enemy to get it. So it's one of those interesting heroes where you have these openers, and I know a lot of the pro players over at the summit were talking about opening 1-2s and opening drafts up with specific sets of heroes. So that's something that we've been definitely looking out for. But NAR ban out the Bounty Hunter in the first phase here. What do you think about that?
I don't think you can. I mean, I can't disagree with that right now. Until teams start figuring out this hero and figuring out the new meta, the fact is 6.84 is really been so far all about skirmishing early and often. And in that kind of game flow, the Bounty Hunter is just tremendously powerful, provided he can get a timely level 6. You can't argue with that. I mean, the Visage really the buff to the familiars has completely made that hero. I actually don't know what's going to happen with that hero because the Drow Visage combination was actually pretty significantly nerfed here in the last little sub patch, and I'm curious to see what's going to happen as you see teams start experimenting with giving away the Drow Visage again, and whether or not. Because if I'm correct in my understanding, I believe that familiars no longer benefit from Precision Aura at all unless it's manually cast.
That's how I read it as well. But, but when you sort of think about how the Drow Visage works, Visage sends his familiars off to a lane where there's no action, and he skips creeps, looks for courier snipes, farms the jungle.
Oh, but don't underestimate. See, a lot of people, when they talk about the Drow Visage, talk about all about split pushing. Do not underestimate the extra damage that those familiars bring to a team fight. But we shouldn't get too much sidetracked onto that because there is a draft in front of us here, and NAR are going to go ahead and they're going to pick up that Ush Shadow Fiend again. Honestly, such a great performance by him. Unfortunately, largely squandered that previous game as NAR, I felt, waited a little bit too long to push. Rift go ahead and they pick up the Skywrath Mage, which is interesting to me because that's actually it's been a fogged hero. And the hero has not been that successful in this patch overall. Fogged still likes it, but the first phase Skywrath Mage pickup is a little bit debatable. The Witch Doctor as a third pick is certainly not. I mean, that hero is just an incredible utility package when you're talking about supports right now. And of course the Clockwork, arguably there was no more defining hero at the Summit 3 than Clockwork. I mean, you saw Zai and Universe in a couple of games, but really Zai in one particular game just put up one of the great performances I've seen in Pro Dota 2 this year on that hero.
Yeah, definitely. We're seeing a lot of emphasis put onto these sort of catching heroes where from long range you make these initiations. We're seeing a lot of Sand King, Clockwork, even bring back the good old Tidehunter, go Blink and Ravage. But I think this Skywrath pick is a block pick twofold because it's a good hero against the Queen of Pain with the Silence and Mystic Flare, but also it's a great hero with that Clockwork. You kind of expect, you saw the Clockwork get picked up, so it's like, okay, well, they could pick it up and counter out our Queen of Pain and also look for these kills with Cogs into Mystic Flare. So I don't know how well it fits in here with the overall game plan of Summer's Rift, but I'm pretty sure they'll have something planned. The speed at which they actually took up Skywrath Mage leads me to expect they know what they're doing. They've got something ready in store for us. Naga banned out by NAR. That's an interesting one, though.
No, I mean, it certainly Skywrath both good with the clockwork and good against it. The only variable to me in that equation, MSS plays a pretty darn good clockwork, and if clock is able to get up an early blade mail, Skywrath is very, very sad, because you kill yourself quite quickly. But 4 int heroes picked up by Summer's Rift. I wonder if there's a chance that you might see that 5th pick Nyx. Probably not, as you've already got clockwork picked up for that offlane role, but boy, this is the kind of lineup against which that Nyx assassin can really do some tremendous damage.
Yeah, especially when
they're gonna go Clinks. Oh boy. Okay, so this is gonna be a lot of fun. We saw Fear play this hero a couple times in the Summit 3, and what he did was really interesting to me. He actually rushed Helma Dominator. And he dominated the creep, because remember, the Helma Dominator got buffed.
500 HP bonus.
You now get you now get that extra HP. And so Clinks actually dominates the creep and then eats it. And he gets about another 35, 36 damage out of doing that.
Yeah, we used to see clicks picked up against and with Chen, especially by I think Vega Squadron, a couple of other CIS teams. Yep. They love that. But now Chen's been changed. Now it's a little bit iffy there.
Yes, now we're in the era of 700 HP lightning harpies completely ruining lanes, but that's another discussion.
Oh boy, those lightning harpies! I still remember the days of Puppy Enchantress.
So
and Chen.
ridiculous.
Level 1 at like 8 minutes in on this Chen, but he's sending harpies around and sniping couriers, getting first blood, and doing all sorts of crazy crap. So he's going to be happy with that change. Summer's Rift, the Naga's banned out, which could have fit here. It feels like they need something that makes things happen 25 minutes into the game. You need something that has a little more sort of drawn out laning phase, I want to say. Phantom Lancer wouldn't be awful, but against the Disruptor and Shadow Fiend, it's still a bit messy.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like you need some right click here. I expect a PL, a PA, something that can really get in and mix it up in these fights, because you've got a pretty substantial team fight presence and a lone druid coming out. Boy, oh boy, what do you think about it? I am so conflicted about this hero in the current metagame, because on the one hand, I mean, it can be so good, and Troff's I've heard Troff's a pretty good lone druid player, but man, oh man, like his farm progression, it just seems like such a risk to me picking him up in this current meta.
I have seen it fail time and time again.
Yeah.
I like the hero. I'm kind of a lone druid player myself. I do like the hero and how it works. This patch, it does feel like, the Phase Boots, Maelstrom, whatever, Mask of Manus build, the good old fighting lone druid, not the, let's get Midas, let's get Raidens. It does feel like the brawling lone druid kind of patch, but the biggest thing for me with lone druid in this patch, if your bear dies to a hero, that's a lot of gold very early on. And I think it was IG that ran it a couple of times, or at least once in the summit, and they lost. Well, was it IG? I can't remember, but there was a team at the summit that ran it.
It would I want to say that it was probably both, but I want to say it was LGD if it was anybody, because of Sylar. But
there was EG and there was definitely a Chinese team that ran it, but they lost their bear like 3 times in the laning phase. You just cannot do that, because you're giving a ton of gold over to the opponent hero. If it's an offlaner, you're a clockwork running around with treads and bottle 4 or 5 minutes in. Was it?
Oh God, that's right. It was EG and C9 that both ran it and lost in the summit too. It was 0-2 in the summit, and then I was thinking of earlier today. Sylar played that in I-League and just got absolutely crushed by Newbie. That's what I was thinking of. It
was Envy. Oh man, bottom. We're already seeing a fight in the Radiant Jungle.
Oh my!
Before we get too far in, Nikwa losing a lot of HP. The last Searing Arrows will take him down.
That was real. I mean, okay, that was certainly something that we probably should have been looking out for. But yeah, I did not necessarily expect.
We got caught up in the lone druid hype.
Yeah, we did. We did. There you go. There you go. That was really strange.
Oh, I thought that was a really nice play by the lone druid blocking off this ramp, but he didn't quite get it.
We've seen so many. The funny thing is, we've seen so many Dire teams like 5-manning into the Radiant Jungle recently that I almost assume like, unless you see Dire 5-man into Radiant Jungle, there's probably not going to be a fight down there. It's just, I don't know. It's a game flow thing that I've been seeing recently.
Well, this was something I was thinking about a couple of days ago. The fact that we, like 100% of the time, used to see 2 supports from each team running to their safe lane to stop the off lane of warding.
Right.
We don't see that anymore, like at all. They always group up and look for control onto one root spot, look for the early initiation, and look for that fight very early on, like middle lane. Brax losing a ton of HP with field and rage.
Lord. I mean, I know he knew he had Demon behind him, but still, like with level 1 Shadow Strike, not even blink to just kind of, I mean, he walked forward on top of the Radiant ramp to Shadow Strike Ush. Wow, that's well, nobody can accuse Brax of not having balls.
Well,
except he's playing Queen of Pain.
hey, you never know. You never know.
Yeah, but interesting laning decision down here. We're gonna see this. We're gonna see a offensive tri lane here from Summer's Rift around the Darkseer. Not something that you see often, but I think it could be pretty effective here.
Yeah, we saw this a couple of times 2 or 3 patches ago with Darkseer Shadow Demon +1, where you just set up, kind of like the Axe tri-lane that we see occasionally, where you set up with a Shadow Demon, you walk in, you trap them in, got the Iron Shell.
This is actually, this is interesting. Really, I feel like Rift is taking a little bit of a page out of the NAR book. This is actually something that Fog likes to do on his Skyrat. Just be a total pest to the enemy mid lane.
Nick was taking a ton of damage, and Crit is holding on to Telekinesis, waiting for the surge. Now, he's actually going to get Nikwa looking for the fight here with Crit, but he's going to get caught. Telekinesis back into Bleak. The right clicks out from the Searing Arrows should be enough. Surely, Nikwa now TP, no, he's still going to get caught. There's no way of escaping here unless the Voodoo Restoration keeps him alive for a split second longer. They find the trade-off.
Oh, he doesn't have,
he's no,
one more mana.
He does now. Okay, he's good. Is there a sentry? Is there any reveal? No, there's nothing. There's nothing.
No, that was so close. He had 73 mana, and I'm looking at that 0.7 per second mana regen. Oh man.
Like, what does Bleak do now in lane though? As it clinks, you're so mana reliant. You've got a clarity brought to you. You can go and buy your Sage's Mask for that Ring Basilius, but you don't have that spam onto Nikwa now that you really do need. And actually looking towards mid lane, Demon, concussive shot onto Arch. They're looking for the go here. Illusions are popped. Brax walks in into range. He's got 2-1 across the board. But they're not going to go for that kill just now.
Yeah, really a lot of pressure being brought here against the mid lane. Fog having to rotate.
MSS top the bear. The bear is dying. One more hit. Not enough. 8 HP.
Deny you, bear. Deny. You can deny. You can deny.
Yes. Oh, no, he doesn't do. Oh, no. Oh, no. Turns back to fight. There's no entangling claws just yet on this lone druid. Pushed back by the cogs. 300 gold to MSS, and this is what I'm talking about. That's going to give him bottle soon. That's going to push him towards treads or whatever he wants. You cannot afford to do it.
You can deny your own bear. That is such a mistake.
It was on 8 HP.
Yeah, I mean, it was on 8 HP.
And now
you had the body block on Rencho, and his hero's going to die now. Oh.
With MSS walking in, Cogs traps him in, Thunderstrike to bring down Tralf, and that's no bear for 2 minutes for this lone druid at top lane.
Disaster.
Well, the lane's not going great for Summer's Rift just yet. Bottom, how are we looking for last hits on the Clinks though? 12-1, 12-3 on the SF. The Queen of Pain is winning out on that middle lane, just the fact that Demon has been moving back and forth.
Exactly. Demon has just won that mid lane for Brax. I mean, take the guy out to dinner, because, wow, that's quite the assist. Yeah, I mean, you're seeing that Summer's Rift support's doing a good job of controlling the jungle.
Raised. Oh, she's trying to fight this, but the Shadow Strike level 2, along with a Scream. Crit looking for Telekinesis into Fateful, but they're only level 1, so it's not going to get the damage output. And guess what? The rune is a bottom lane. It's a regen for Brax. Fills up his bottle, and that is perfect.
I mean, sometimes I feel like Dota loves everybody but me. My God. Regen rune on demand. I could play 10 pub games and that would never happen. Anyway.
Well, the TPs are coming in. Crit is holding onto Boots and Bottle for Rush. The Sonic Wave catches 2. They'll get the Rubik and maybe now the Shadow Fiend as well. The Shadow Strike, 1 raise, 2 raises. Nice dodge from Brax. Gets hit by the 3rd. And Rush will die, but
just too much.
Witch Doctor.
Too much, man. I mean, and boy, Tralf could go down again. Up here, he's going to get glimpsed. Oh.
Into the battery salt. Cogs and kinetic field. Tralf dies a second time, and he's still got no bear. He's going for Midas with the Gloves of Haste that he's picked up, but things are going from bad to worse here for... like, okay, Ush dies a couple of times, but the Shadow Fiend is such an amazing hero at coming back. You've got no stacks just yet, but the Witch Doctor is actually scouting them out and seeing what's happening down in bot lane. They're going to go in, find Demon, 1 more Searing Arrows, will bring him down with the help of Crit, but Nikwa, Iron Shell level 3, turning back onto this Rubik, now decides to run, get himself the hell out of here. Witch Doctor ready with a cask and heal, just in case they decided to chase.
It was actually really big that they got that kill onto Brax, just staying a little bit too long. I mean, I've been on record before saying I feel like Queen of Pain is the hero that benefits most from strong roaming supports, and you can see just how much she's taken advantage of in that game. But after that 1v1 kill, Ush really kind of back to even now in this mid lane.
Yeah, how are we looking after net worth? Yeah, pretty much even. There is almost nothing in it. About 10 gold in it between the two of them, so damn right, that kill gives a lot back to us. He's still got the jungle to farm. Queen of Pain doesn't necessarily have that luxury. She can farm reasonably quickly in the jungle with her Scream, but she wants to go and find kills. Every time that ultimate's up, she wants to be looking and hunting, looking for these kills, trying to find pickoffs on the side lanes. Demon.
I mean, Trouf is just so sad though. He's been forced back into the jungle here at level 5, just now hit level 6. I mean, and he's gonna get hunted in his own jungle. There's really nowhere safe for him.
And now he's. Where did Fog see him? Did Fog see him? He's got the hook shot. They're going to look for the other, though. They find the Witch Doctor. MSS now mounted up, though. The damage output's real. He'll get the 1 kill and TP out. Is there a stun? Is there any damage? MSS TP's back and bottles up in the fountain. Are you kidding me?
Oh, what a player. And Fog's away, too. Wow, that was... Again, now, it's not as disastrous, certainly, as if they get a kill onto Trouf.
Well,
but Ush just gets him down! Wow! Okay, there I did do the full LD and not intentionally, but
wow,
but still, that's a huge kill. This Queen of Pain is really going to snowball. Shut up, Card.
Krat,
love you, dude.
Krat Doat, what are you doing, man?
Boy.
So Queen of Pain item builds this patch. We've seen a bit of everything, you know, going back for the Orchid, the early Aghanim Scepter. Necro Book, I feel, is probably one of the best items of Queen of Pain for this kind of stuff.
Oh boy, I know you're a Quap player, but man, really?
Come on.
I mean, you're right. Like, level 1 Necro is so freaking good now. Like, that item... It used to be just absolute garbage before level 3, and now like level 1 Necro, if you get a good timing on it, is actually super good. But there's so many items that are so good on Quap.
Equa, dead at bot lane. So, like,
ooh, that actually really okay.
I like the Necro. I think it's kind of in the same boat as the Orchid. You know, you mentioned the early timing. If you don't,
I just love that early Orchid timing, especially in a game like this when you have the roaming advantage.
Goes back. Brax, not going to get the rune of top. They want to give it to us. Like, nope, you're not having that one. But yeah, like Aghanims is the safer pick, I feel, in Quap this patch. Just the fact you have that 40 seconds cooldown, and you can just go for team fight after team fight, and you're not really limited by anything. But Necrobook, it allows you to push towers after team fights. It gives you the solo kill potential, which sometimes against tankier heroes, you know, you see seeing Brewmaster, Clockwork, whatever, she can sometimes lack. She needs another support hero to help her out, a few more right clicks in there, with a burst damage from the mana burn, with the Necrobook just ripping you apart. It gives you that.
Yeah, you also, by the way, just saw, and it's something I meant to mention earlier and had forgotten about it, but you just saw part of the reason why Clinks is so good in this situation, that Darkseer comes in with that first Ion Shelled creep and Clinks just eats it. And it means that you're not constantly against these double Ion Shell waves. I mean, he's going to have it up again in another 10 seconds, and at least one of these Ion Shells goes bye-bye.
It was the old
But meanwhile, action top here.
There it goes.
The old Empire counter to the Darkseer. Phonic Blinks always picked up 1v1 against that Darkseer, so not a bad idea. We actually saw 3 NAR players getting ready for top lane, but they couldn't find the angle for hookshot or anything like that. With Creep Wave, Bear, things like this in the way, and then Whitebeard was actually pulling through and farming the jungle, so
this is really
creeps in front of him.
Nice anticipation, by the way, that Summer's Rift used a smoke, but NAR know exactly what's going on. They know. I mean, you can just sort of see the mirroring rotation here by Fogged and MSS. And this is really good Dota. And they've got Ush's back here.
A DD Shadow Fiend once again. Brax has to sit behind this tier 1, looking a little aggressive there. I'm not sure if that kind of gives away, again, they know, but it gives away how close these supports are, or how close Demon is. Now,
they know, and they're gonna get scouted here too.
Do they see him?
Nope.
They've got no reveal. Demon doesn't have any. Have they actually been buying anything to lock down this Clinks? Because he's just going to take apart that tier 1 mid. Brax tried with the
Gosh. I mean, not really, but I mean, for the most part, they did have the one gank, but for the most part, and you can see it in the net worth, Clinks has just sort of been unmolested down here in the bot lane.
10-minute Midas for the Lone Druid. He's got boots on himself, but not on the
He has
bear.
to. He's hurting so bad in this game. I mean, this is your prototypical catch-up Midas game.
And now Ush, mid lane, he's gonna get caught. A good glimpse back will force Brax to use his ultimate from range, which he will do so. One more hit. Demon
lives,
with
though.
the last arcane bolt is gonna be enough for Fog to deny or just TP out. Ush, 38 HP, 9 HP, 10 HP, bottling up in the fountain. He's just okay. Oh, Rubik steals it. Rubik steals Sonic Wave.
Oh no! How do you let that get? Oh.
Because you had to use Sonic Wave from such great distance that your Scream and Shadow Strike are not castable.
Yeah, it's true. Well, you can always Scream, right? But
you don't think about it.
Yeah, the Shadow Strike is the big thing, right? The range nerf on that means that you can't just sort of fire that out at will anymore.
So now Rubik all of a sudden with quite a lot of killing power. 3 in Fade Bolt and 1 in Sonic Wave. Heading up to top lane with Arcane Boots. He's also got quite a lot of mana to sustain through. Oh.
Yeah, the puzzling thing, the reason I was puzzled there is because she actually, I believe she had enough mana to Scream right after the wave. And that's how I always end up getting my my Sonic Wave. I know that I need to Scream after the wave, but I just like I'm like, oh, out of mana because
also, she didn't blink back, so she must have just walked back and not given blink up either. Bottom lane, they are trying to get in position here for Bleak on the Clinks. They surge to the Witch Doctor to try and get in there first. Again, they've got Dust over on Demon. Okay, they've finally got themselves some reveal to try and find this guy, but Tralf in the jungle keeps on going with that Midas over on him on the bear. Now, Phase Boots going to be picked up as well.
Yeah, and I mean, he's getting the space. They're no longer hunting him quite so aggressively, and I'm a little bit surprised that they've taken pressure off.
That's a play. If Clink survives here, it's down to that one move from Bleak. He's going to keep on running. Never turn around. Silence of the fog, so he can't get that glimpse. But that play from the Clinks, he gets dusted. There's like heroes converging on him here and here. Instead of doing, you know, the kind of expected movement, which is around the tower, into the one hero rather than walking into the two, he runs back, holds his position, gets dusted, and then runs through the two heroes that can't stun him and lock him down in place.
Yeah, and he's going Orchid too, and he's gonna have it at a pretty good timing in this game.
Tralf.
They are gonna once again just hunt Tralf, which is something.
MSS, they've got the Sonic Wave on the Tralf, the Lone Druid's dropping low, they'll kill the bear off, but they're taking a lot of damage in return. Tralf is not dead just yet. It looks like he won't die at all, actually. As Witch Doctor now comes in, counter-commanding. They're falling apart at the seams. Zasha's Claw turns to fight the Requiem out, but it's not going to do a damn thing. The Witch Doctor healing through with a restoration. Doesn't heal through the raise, though, as Fog is looking for a trade-off here on the Demon. Earn and Thunderstrike. Concussive shot not going to fly. He glimpses him back. His corpse lands on the ground, but Brax, pretty much last man standing here as Tralf limps back to base, looking for a kill. Scream is ready. One more click here with the help of Shadow Strike will allow him to... No. You gotta hunt this. You gotta get this kill before he denies himself to Roshan or something.
Wow, and the body's just hitting the floor continuously.
How does Lone Druid survive? I guess they trapped the bear in. Whoa.
What?
What?
What in the world was that? Okay.
I was looking at Nikwa thinking, okay, that's the target. Didn't realize the Queen of Pain's there.
He wasn't invis. Like, I mean, it's nighttime vision, so I guess you could just not realize, but still. Yeah. I know. I saw what happened, Cart. That was a weird decision to walk uphill.
Interesting. So, top tier 1 tower, or, well, bot tier 1 tower is denied. The top tower, when did that go down? It wasn't a recent, was it? Oh well.
What, the top tier, the top tier 1?
Yeah.
It was a few minutes ago.
Okay. Well, Fog running around with Tranquil Boots. Gonna find Tralf. Thunderstrike to start, but this is a tanky bear with his level 2 ultimate. They turn back with the razors on Tralf.
Tanky enough.
He is pretty damn strong. Holy crap. Yeah, surviving with what, 30 HP, bottled up by Brax, and Ush walks into Demon. Silence now. Queen of Pain's not coming to help. The Mystic Flare. Finally, Brax realizes there's a Shadow Fiend kill to be had. Thunderstrike on the Demon will take his life, but the trade-off here is Summer's Rift getting the big, important kills. Oh, but now Clinks with the Orchid. They'll find Brax. That's a good timing.
Well, Tralf, the authority, I'll say, on baiting so far. That's 2 straight engagements where basically, intentionally or not, Tralf has been the ultimate bait on the hook, forcing out NAR.
Nick went to Cogs now. That's a pretty simple kill unless he vacuums them back, and he's gonna get himself a little further away until the Glimpse Thunderstrike and final right click will take him down.
Yeah, I mean, after a while, boy, you just start feeling snake bit. I mean, that's good for NAR to get that kill, because certainly they've missed on a couple close ones here recently.
Also, the fact that Scarth is, wait, Disruptor's over on the enemy team for some reason for Scarth, but you're seeing the Queen of Pain go into a Yule Scepter. So he's feeling so forced here by Clink's Orchid as well, of course. But by the silences and disruption here from the enemy team, he needs to go for a defensive item rather than going for something aggressive early on.
Yeah, and as Cart points out here, this Orchid timing from Quinks is just scary, especially when you got a 1v1 initiator.
Yeah, hook shot in, pretty easy kill for the Quinks. Picks that up.
Still though, I mean, you see like the Bear took down about 2/3 of Bleak's HP while he was getting the kill there. And this Lone Druid is not out of this game by any means. He's done a nice job of hanging in there just after a brutal early start. But this is where I really do feel like NAR is not going to repeat the mistake of the last game. They are going to push with this early Shadow Fiend here, about to complete his BKB.
And they've got so much teamfight power. They just hookshot in, they find these kills, glimpse back. The fact that in the last game, Summer's Rift had so much chasing potential, they could start the fights and force NAR to sort of disperse after cooldown. It's the same thing here for NAR against Summer's Rift. They've got the Clinks to run in there, find a single target, force Summer's Rift to spread themselves out or group themselves in onto that one target to defend or try and bail out of a fight. Then you go Glimpse and Hookshot and Requiem just to basically rip them apart.
Radiant's bottom tower
Lone Druid, his next item has got to be timely here. With the Midas, it's
nice
not really
easy kill on
Demon. They're looking. Oh, Demon does die, but they're looking for Ush in the Dire Jungle, which I'm watching here. The Death Water Maledict. They will have enough damage to finally bring him down. Ush farming aggressively over in the Dire Jungle, overstepping his bounds. Where did Demon die? Down. Okay, pretty much the same thing.
Yeah,
it was those two kills.
Yeah, almost completely symmetric. The difference is, of course, it's a core on the NAR side that goes down, and yeah, I mean, pretty defensive ward placements here. This is a sort of a reflection of how much pressure they were feeling in the early game, that Summer's Rift has felt the need to go with an extremely defensive ward scheme, but paying off there.
Now, this Darkseer over on Summer's Rift is having a much better, I want to say a much better time, but it's not really. He's 0, 5, and 2. Kill-wise, he's having or death-wise, he's having a worse time, but he's got his mech and arcanes. So he's got the key items they need now to start looking to group up as 4. But where does the Lone Druid fit into the actual team fight potential? Because he needs another couple of items. He could be that tanky hero, which we've seen go and stand up and take down towers while the rest are waiting in the wings. They've got a pretty good way to jump in on top of that Lone Druid and save him, or turn the tides of the fight. But he's TP'd bot lane and there's a Clinks waiting for him.
Yeah, I mean that's going to be the issue, and I mean it's not trivial. He has 1700 HP with a casual cloak on him. I mean, he's not that easy to bring down. But still, the question is going to be, are they able to respond to the NAR death ball? Because like I said, they're not going to repeat the mistakes of the previous game. They are going to apply a heck of a lot of pressure.
Especially when they can take down towers as quickly as this. Bleak with his Clinks. Sure, they wait out the fortification. He's still going to be able to bring this tower low, if not kill it off completely.
Yeah.
There's no contest. 2 Dire heroes, the 2 supports actually over in the Dire jungle, waiting things out. There's Brax with 1700 gold,
bottom tower
looking
has
towards his next big item, and that's what Summer's Rift are waiting for. They're not waiting for, okay, we're going to go and fight them, we've got our items now. They've got to wait for their items first.
I mean, NAR they've come into this match with almost the polar opposite mentality. I mean, they've said, all right, we are not going to give you, especially after a hard start in lane, but even if Tralford had a good start in game, I mean, what do you do? Even if you're to your Radiance at this point, what do you do as a lone Druid at 20 minutes with only one outer tower remaining? And it's just such a hard position for any hero to be in, really.
And what's he building here? Gloves of Haste is on its way out to him, so I'm assuming Maelstrom.
It's got to be. I mean, you've got to have some kind of contribution to bring to fights, damage-wise. It's got to be Maelstrom at this point.
4 staff, treads, bottle, and blade mail for MSS on this clock.
Yeah.
4-104. The couple
we
of
talked about this during the draft, man. I mean, this is where all of a sudden that Skywrath that you were congratulating yourself on as a counter to the Clockwork, all of a sudden Clock gets up 15-20 minute blade mail and well, don't pat yourself on the back too hard.
Yeah. So Mystic Flare probably going to be looking for one of these supports, but Clinks, probably BKB with that Mithril Hammer. Could be a Desolator, we've seen that a couple of times, it's not too bad. Lower the armor of these already very squishy heroes. I just don't think he necessarily needs it desperately when he can lock down one of these guys with his Orchid and the right-click attacks. But what do we see from Nico now? He's going into Force Staff? Get out of the cogs? You know, Force Staff's always good against Clockwork.
Yeah, I don't know. I think he's gonna have a really tough time, largely because, I mean, NAR have an answer to these double ion shells. I mean, they've got raises, they've got Clinks pushing waves and eating creeps. I mean, he is applying a bit of pressure to the bottom lane right now, but I mean, they have no space with which to split push from.
Crit has Blink on the Rubik, so he's going to be looking to steal a whole bunch of his skills.
Is Bleak just, Bleak's just, look at this. Bleak's just going to go in and just casually grab himself an Aegis.
Oh, good hook shot here.
Meanwhile,
Witch Doctor and taken down by that Reckoner Souls. Yeah, Clinks not even needed in this team fight, as they're actually going 4 versus 5 here. Summon's Rift has lost one, so 4 versus 4, losing the bear, slowly getting taken down, and 300 gold goes the way of the Clockwork. With Rax losing 11 HP, Bleak just goodbye, Demon.
Yeah, this game is very, very nearly over. I mean, Summer's Rift need a huge play. They need a big vacuum wall combo, and I mean, wall was already used. Yikes!
Middle tower has fallen.
Yeah. This item on Clinks, especially with this kind of a timing, with Orchid already online, this is just terrifying. I mean, he can eat any one of their heroes just like eating a creep right now.
Yeah, I said I don't think he needs it, but it's something that is always going to be useful. Especially when, you know, you said the timing for killing off heroes, you can just go and, two-shot the Witch Doctor, something along those lines, if you've got Death Pact, Orchid, and Deso. But also taking down towers. Because with Aegis Immortal, he can stand up on the high ground on that ramp and just wail at these towers with no retribution from Summon's Rift available, really. Whoa, no. Okay, thank you. It's a Maelstrom recipe.
Oh, no,
for a split second there, I looked at the Lone Druid and was like, please let it be a Maelstrom recipe. He's already got the Mithril Hammer, so yeah, definitely is.
I mean, I'm not sure even Sylar is that greedy on his Lone Druid.
It's just like a heart in mouth moment. Lone Druid, no, you can't meme that hard.
So yeah, what's Queen of Pain building? What is she building for her next item? Is this going to be a next item Sheep? Next item Scotty?
It can't be Lincoln's, right? Because
no, it's not.
It can't be a defensive item. It has to be aggressive. Yeah. Scotty is not going to do too much without already having some damage output. MSS is trapped in the cogs here with the Lone Druid, but with the rest of the Radiant walking themselves in, the two supports help out their little Clockwork friend. Take down the Lone Druid. Yeah, a Scotty, you need like a primary damage item beforehand, I feel, before you know, getting that stat item slow and kiting ability becomes useful on the Queen.
I mean, it's got to be a Hex, right, for the Clinks, but then what do you do about the Shadow Fiend is my question.
Who knows? Bleak stands in the middle of Mystic Flare. Glimmer Cape put to him, and oh my god, Brax comes back.
So
they don't get the damage back into the vacuum and wall. So Nico catches both of them, and now look at the little old illusion of that. Clinks as a Death Ward going down to Clinks. Bleak is brought down, his Death Pact wore off. Witch Doctor gets 2 kills there.
Yeah, huge plays there by Summer's Rift, and unfortunate timing on the Death Pact is that's exactly what killed him. I mean, all of a sudden your Clinks is like half as tanky, and Summer's Rift hold. That's the fight that they needed. I said that they needed a big wall play, and they got it with the Death Ward on top.
Yeah, wall into 3. That's Death Ward without Aghanim's upgrade, sitting on 2,000 gold now. Witch Doctor, you know, point booster, he could go buy it right now from the side shop. Do they have a Glimmer Cape yet? I don't think they do. It's
Rift? No, they do.
It's not out of the question, but the way this game's going, you'd rather have the big item sooner rather than a stopgap item now that might give you a chance. You want something that will give you a chance.
Yeah, and they don't necessarily need a cape as much as NAR do, because they've got the Lone Druid, who's, when he's in his bear form anyway, he's pretty tanky as it is, and they've got the Queen that can move around. And boy, MSS he is really setting the table quite nicely in this game. Good to see after he really kind of struggled as Darkseer in the last match.
What was Witch Doctor doing there?
Yeah, that's a good question. Obviously placing some wards.
He doesn't have wards in his inventory.
Well, okay, forget that.
The wards which are there have been placed for quite some time. See, these are the questions that I already asked myself, like in my inner monologue, and keep answering myself, no. No. I cannot think of a reason to actually go down into the dire jungle.
Sometimes Dota defies reason.
That is a PGG move in itself.
Well, as anyone who's played even one pub match knows, yes, Dota quite frequently defies reason.
Brax, you're dead.
Oh, this is 1v1 kill right here. Oh no, he gets the Eels off! And where's the Orchid?
I don't know. I guess the fact that if he Orchids Brax, he uses himself. But I don't know.
Okay.
Either way, he holds onto the Orchid and maybe now kills off Demon. The Dust is something soft. They find him. Bleak is caught, but they don't have a catching hero. No, they don't have a Darkseer with Blink. He's got 4 staff, but he's nowhere near, and now he's gonna die. Whew. Somehow forces himself through the kinetic wall, kinetic field, vacuum back into wall, catches a few supports, but hookshot in from MSS, traps them both in, and Crit has stolen Sonic Wave again. MSS does get taken down by the concussive shot as Trout on the run, but you cannot run through this kinetic field again as Archer's hasted. Archer's looking for Demon, 2 right clicks, the blink, the glimpse back into the damage.
Wow, that's a very sad Skywrath.
How is Crit stealing Sonic Wave so reliably?
Okay. I'm looking bad here in this match, my friend, because you're asking me questions that I do not have answers to. You should not be able to get that spell.
Now he has Battle Cry. But you've seriously got to start thinking, okay, Rubik has stolen Sonic Wave like 3 times, at least twice, but I think about
twice
3
that
times.
I've seen, and I think there's been a third, but man.
So Brax seriously has to start thinking to himself, okay, I have to use Sonic Wave first from Fog, blink in, and then Scream. So then you know 100, or just walk and Scream. You know 100% with certainty, Rubik is not going to get that spell.
Any nearby units under his control. Okay, so that's not that. Clinks doesn't. No, heroes don't get the battle card damage, do they?
Static Storm, Brax, no, Fogged. They're not going to be able to catch him. Maybe now the long-range vision. Brax is caught with a Static Storm down.
With these just nice Yules.
He can blink himself away, but not when he's hookshotted. Good play there by MSS and Fog. That vision range, though, holy crap, daytime. You've got to be sad about that one.
Yeah, and really, I mean, almost the inverse of the last game's story, where you have one core from Summer's Rift playing really well. Brax has done really well after getting off to a good start, but almost the sort of script being flipped now, where just like the last game for NAR, the other 2 cores for Summer's Rift just not doing anything in this match.
Yeah, you've got to say Lone Druid with what is he called?
Yeah, I mean, you can't. This is not Trout's fault. Like he had a brutal lane, and this hero is it's so brutal to come back on.
It's like Broodmother. You know, it's one of those heroes that can be incredibly potent and can be a hell of an annoyance in the laning phase. But he hasn't had the luck with entangling claws. He has had a lot of trouble staying alive. He's now building into a basher for his bear. And usually, you know, this is an item we see after AC, after the big old items that the Spirit Bear does like to get given, but he needs impact items now, and this is a word that you're going to be, you know, hearing a lot in this current patch is heroes that make impact. Because if you're having a dead weight on your team that's just sitting there farming or, you know, moving around the map and sure, create pressure and split push a little bit. But you also need to have the fighting ability.
I've already been using that term a lot myself in private conversations. It's about impact and timing, really. I mean, we've gone from a meta where the laning phase was so heavily de-emphasized to one where lanes matter again, maybe as much as they did in 6.83 and 6.81 rather. And teams have gotten out of the habit of drafting really strong lanes.
Yeah, we're seeing it from a couple of teams like NIP. I think are the biggest strugglers here.
Oh yeah, they have looked really brutal so far, and I really like the way they play. But yeah, it's an adjustment for a lot of teams. I mean, you saw that at the Summit 3. Even some very good teams having difficulty adjusting to this patch.
Well, right now it's base defense.
And
Bleak on the top lane. The Racks have already fallen. Yules glimpse. Brax sent back down to the bottom lane. They've got no Queen of Pain to defend their base. He's going to have to make the long walk of shame back up the top, but Trout is caught in the cogs. MSS looking for this. They lift him up and throw him back. Death Ward is going to do a decent amount of damage here to Ash with the vac back into wall, but now ultimate's expended. You've got no big team fight capabilities. It's probably going to be NAR now. Requiem Nikwa taken apart. The Sonic Wave goes across 3, but now you really do not have anything left. MSS just walks into the middle of 2 of you, cogs you up, traps you in place. The cage has been made. Fogged 1 versus 2, but where's the SF? Where's the rest of NAR? Okay, there's the Clinks taking down the second Rax towards middle lane. Now trying to fight Brax. He's got no blink, he's got no Yules. The York not going to take him over. Will drop very low, but they've lost 2 melee Rax across the lane.
Yeah, I mean, this really reminded. It almost reminds me of what the old speed gaming used to do with Clinks and Chen. I mean, they just would basically have their Clinks run up into your base, hit your barracks, and then send them back with Chen. I mean, you don't have the Chen send back in this game, but that's kind of what Bleak did in that last engagement.
Run the hell away. Well, Brax, he's got his Scythe of Vice now. They're smoked up. Roshan does not respawn for another minute or so, so if they do want to make something happen, it's got to be walk through the dire jungle or do nothing at all. Is Charles no, you cannot stand here and wait for Roshan to respawn. That's not the play. They're going to walk through the dire jungle, but the trouble is they're going to walk into a bunch of heroes. They spot crit, I believe, there. With the dire vision, yeah, they know he's there. They walk in Brax, the blink back, and Rubik's out. Maybe they'll look for Ush now, but he's got Manta and BKB. He's got a TP scroll to escape, and there's no real way for them to stop him apart from, Hex and Yules, which Brax doesn't have vision for.
Yeah, no, I mean, you almost, I don't know, it's one of those things where I really, part of me really loves that smoke play right after the enemy has taken an objective. Like, I think that's a really good instinct to follow as a player, that, okay, we just lost an objective. They're going to be trying to fall back to farm. Let's go try and recoup some of those losses. At the same time, when you're playing at this level, it becomes just a little bit obvious. Yeah, there's no way Crit makes that blink unless they're totally looking for that.
It's like the smoke after Roshan. It's
exactly
very obvious what's happening. Oh man, Bleak. 3 hits, Demon dead, gone. The bear now looking for a bit of damage down onto Bleak, but he just loses his bear to it. Brax now caught in the static storm. He's got Yules. He's got Yules. He's dead and doesn't use his Yules.
Yeah,
GG
yeah, and that's why they're like, all right, guys, that's enough. We've had enough, and we're gonna go to a game 3 here. That's look, I expected NAR to excel in this series. They had a hiccup in game 1. They came back and did what I expected them to do in game 2. But don't count Rift out of this. I mean, they showed in game 1 what kind of game they're capable of putting together. This series is still anybody's to take.
Yeah, definitely. The picks there are a little bit unusual from Summer's Rift. The Darkseer and Lone Druid didn't really work in tandem too well. But
yeah, the Lone Druid was really the problem.
Yeah.
The Darkseer got a little bit counterpicked by the Clinks, the 5th pick response from NAR. But yeah, I think the Lone Druid as a 5th pick for Summer's Rift, really the draft was won at the very end.
Well, we'll be back in a couple of minutes, guys, with game number 3 going to be decided here in the deciding match for the last spot to get these teams to Austin, Texas for the X Games MLG Pro League Season 2. I'm Durka, joined by Nahaz and Kart. We'll be back in a couple of minutes after this short break.